After watching Annabelle Creation, I hate all dolls. Annabelle Creation, a movie about how The Conjuring began. This is supposed to be telling the story of how Annabelle came to be. It's her origin story, kind of like Captain America. I'm not a huge fan of the Conjuring series, so going into this movie, I have high expectations. The series just never really was scary to me. And I will say this about the movie, that it did have me cringing and scared and kind of, at times. I will give it credit for that. But more times than that, I was laughing. The movie was a comedy. There was some very funny parts in this movie. I'll actually say it was pretty decent. It was a decent story and it was a decent movie. A lot of scary movies, they rely on graphics and they rely on soft music building up to a crescendo and then just doing something loud instead of actually scaring you or actually providing an antagonist that is terrifying, like the old Chucky's or Freddy's or Jason's. This one, probably out of all of them that I can remember, is the best one that I've seen, which is, with most movies, they get worse as they go along. This one, I think this one is the best one I've seen of the Conjuring series. And the acting was decent. I wasn't really impressed with the acting. The husband of the house, he makes these dolls by hand, and that's where the doll came from. And they allowed this demon to inhabit a doll, and then the demon started messing with him, effing with him. And that's one of my biggest caveats about these Conjuring movies, and really any movie dealing with demon possession. I don't know what the motive of the demon is. Is it to kill everyone? Because if they're as powerful as they say, or as strong as they say, or as evil as they say, they sure don't kill everyone. It's like they just mess with everyone. They just want to scare everybody. And I mean, if that's their motivation, then that's the motivation. But it just doesn't make sense that this evil demon from the netherworld just wants to scare people. Because there's plenty of times when the demon could have killed anyone. And it just is like, I'm going to chase you, or I'm going to mess with you, or just turn off all the lights. And the story was moved along pretty quickly, but the story was kind of just shallow to me. There was no depth to the story, no depth to the characters. The nun woman, she was pretty. But I don't know, there was no real depth. There was no real feeling of, I think I was afraid for the young ladies or the family and everything and the orphans, because I wanted them to escape because I'm a human, but not because I really actually cared about their characters. It was like, I hope these young girls escape and I die, but not like, I hope this one or this one make it out and whatever. And then another thing, I don't know how after this type of traumatic experience you really go back to a normal life. I'll be terrified of everything. And a lot of times I was just laughing at this, and it's because the doll looks so damn ridiculous. I'm just cracking up at how this doll is just all over the place and just popping up. It's just hilarious to me. But overall, I mean, the movie was decent. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. If you just want to have a fun time, I mean, it's not really scary to me, but if you just want to have a fun time, you can go see the movie. I don't think it's a waste of money. So I give this movie but that's just my opinion. You can go see the movie and think whatever the hell you want to think. Don't forget to like,